All right. Welcome to our Twitch recap. Looking back on 2023, it's been quite a year. I've got with me Tiago, Mandy, Kat, and with us in spirit is Jose, who couldn't make it this morning. But yeah, folks, you want to just say hi and what you've got in your mug this morning or evening, depending on where you are. Kat, I saw the mug come up, so let's start with you.
I do. I'm seasonal. I've got my Harry Potter Christmas mug happening because it's the one that retains heat the best. But I have an oolong barley tea.
Ooh,
Oolong barley. Ooh,
that sounds good.
yeah, nice. Mandy, are you at any kind of tea or coffee time?
No, it's in between morning coffee and afternoon herbal tea, so I've got just bubbly water right now. So.
Yeah. And Tiago, I know it's late for you, but I did see that mug, that Microsoft mug come up.
Water, and it's a Microsoft Azure developer mug that it's my favorite one actually. So I
you gotta have your favorites. I've got the PagerDuty San Francisco mug, which is a little bit bigger, and so you get to like put in more tea.
Yeah,
this is an advantage. So it's a ginger peach black tea this morning. Cool. All right. Well, I've got a couple of drumroll highlights from our Twitch recap. So we had 99 total streams. Part of me like kind of wishes we'd been paying attention to be like,
yeah, we weren't watching.
Just get over like into the triple digits. But 99 is pretty fun. And I think we got there definitely as a team because there was a lot of different folks involved. Mandy, I think you've been kind of doing this the longest. So you had all of your how-to happy hours. Any that really stand out for you? And you also had a lot of like deep dives into different product features.
No, this year definitely we have managed to persuade the product team into coming on more and showing off more of the things that they're releasing as they get released, so that we get like some actual demos of things where if you're just seeing it in the product announcements or in the email, like we've got a record of, hey, we made this incredible improvement to this thing you've been asking us for, and here's what it actually looks like. And now there's really a video that goes along with it, and we get to ask questions and work through it. And that's been really helpful. We're trying to get on a pace for folks on the audience to like have all the product teams come on a couple times a year or once a quarter as they're like releasing things, so that we get a regular pace of all this. They're doing so much work. Like we want to put it out there. So a lot.
It's been awesome. I mean, I think like we had schedules and the analytics stuff a couple different times.
Yeah. Analytics have been busy. So
yeah. And plus like even outside of the regular automation ones, we'll come back to that. But there've been, event orchestration. Frank has some really just like amazing stuff.
Yeah. They've been learning a lot about how people use EO. So like that's been super helpful. He's being able to come back and be like, here's some top 5 tips. And he's got like another whole set of them that we're going to do in January. So there's more of those coming from
Mark ye calendars. Folks, feel free to chime in if you had a favorite of any of the how-to happy hours or product deep dives. We also had Jose taking over Terraform time.
Yep.
And so he's taken over as the lead maintainer for probably like over a year now of Terraform. And so he's been on, I think starting in May, he was on maybe not every week, but a couple times a month. And so that's been great. And now we've got like a whole playlist of Terraform time to go back and watch on YouTube. I'll grab the link to that. Then I started the Unplanned show. That was like in the June timeframe. So that's, just unscripted interviews. I've had a lot of folks internally, folks externally. And so nice like mix there. almost every Monday. And then Tiago, you've been starting to do a lot of the automation and Rundeck release notes.
Yeah.
Got the next one coming up next week.
Exactly. Tuesday. Yeah, it's the version 5.0. So it's a new major release. There's yeah, we'll have the product team kind of mentioning some of the features that they introduced in this version, and we will yeah, discuss some things that are coming next. So yeah, hope you
Yeah.
join
So
us.
Mark, yeah, I'm gonna grab the link for that one also. And then Kat, you were on a couple times. I know you had like the status pages. What are some of your favorite ones that you remember?
Yeah, I think that's my favorite one that I'm going to pick out because we just had a quick, you know what, we need to kind of recap what we've done with status pages so far, just so what we know that people know. And then at that point, it was talking a little bit about what's coming up next with status pages. And it was just really showing how you can just reduce context switching for folks, make sure that everybody has everything tied into their tools, whether it's their customer service tools, obviously not having to jump out of PagerDuty just to go post a status update, and showing how easy that is for people, which I think gets a little bit missed sometimes. So it was nice to have Jackie come on and do a really good demo, and have Hadija adding some good context too.
Yeah, I mean that's like a whole like new area, right? That like wasn't even available last year, and so lots of new stuff to dig into and play around with. Hi to the folks who've been commenting in on the chat. And then I think we've also had a few other like demo roundups. We've brought on a whole crew of different product managers at the same time. And we just had one last week, most recently. So maybe about quarterly, I think we've gotten, you know, like kind of a cast of characters. And I can tell also from working with all the different product managers when they have to work together to put together these end-to-end demos, they start to like bump into things in terms of, oh, that's how that would work. So I actually think that that's turned out to be a really, not only for providing like a fun demo for everyone else to see, but just opportunities for internal learning as well. I wanted to see if folks had a any kind of like fun behind the scenes story, or this was definitely like sweat smile, like fun in quotes. I'll share one where I had a guest on, and I always try to schedule to have the guest sort of get into the studio space in StreamYard, like, you know, 10 minutes before, and just check, make sure we can hear everyone and cameras are working and everything. And, you know, almost always, yep, fine, check. Okay, go, you know, fill up your water glass and we'll go live. Well, one time it was like, oh, this is not working. And like, I couldn't remember if he couldn't hear me or I couldn't hear him. And so we had that 10 minutes and we burned through 10 minutes with troubleshooting. And I think we then burned another 10 minutes into the show time. And eventually he was trying different browsers. He got it to work with Opera.
What? Why would he even have Opera installed? Like, that is just nuts.
I think he had to download it, but it was like, I definitely wouldn't have even remembered to try that.
No,
So,
that's a niche reference. That's a deep cut.
it's a deep cut. And so I was like, I don't know, that just stands out to me as the little behind the scene moment was, then there was that time that the guest had to dig up Opera in order to, we still never figured out like what happened, what went wrong, but that happened.
Yeah, I have definitely been like prepping the stream in like the last couple of minutes, and like the guest kind of slides in. Forrest's notorious for this, like just kind of slide in at like 58, 59. Yeah. And yeah, a couple of times he's come on and like his Chrome has been reset. I'm like, you check that you can actually still share. I'm like, no, he has to go back and reset it, come back in, and it is what it is.
Yeah. Those buffer
computers.
Yeah.
I have one that I haven't it was with Mandy, and
Oh,
Mandy,
no.
you don't know it, but there was so before I took over on the release notes Twitch stream, there is one that, well, I couldn't join from the office or home because I was kind of picking my kids up, and so I joined from the car, right? And so I wasn't on camera, but it was very hot because it was still during, I think it was September or something
Yeah,
like
it was.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I was in my car with the AC on, and the car was also on. And I don't know why, but but my car wasn't on parking, so I basically pressed on the gas, and so the car started going. That was with my laptop on, and the seat was like pushed back. So I almost crashed while on a live stream. So it was fun.
Fully
and
mobile
yeah.
streaming.
Yeah.
It would have been fun if I actually crashed. So I managed to stop the car on time, and yeah, fun.
Well, I'm glad you're safe.
Yes.
Those are definitely some adventures in live streaming that, are not in the, standard troubleshooting tips.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So definitely
Make
don't
sure the
try
car's in
this.
park. But yeah. How about you, Kat? Any kind of fun behind the scenes from this or any of the other kind of podcasts and shows that you've been working on?
Yeah, I haven't had any for Twitch. I it definitely can't top a moving car, but I think that it's just the type of thing where, like with the podcast, right, we can go back and edit if there are issues or just kind of moments where you forget how to make words. It happens to everybody, but that is kind of the fun of Twitch. You don't really get that second shot or that edit out. I've definitely had, browsers freeze on me while we're doing the podcast, but have been lucky, knock on wood, enough to not have that happen yet on Twitch.
Yeah. No, it's definitely no fun. Although then what I love about like the live Twitch is that you're not going to go back and edit, but
There's no fixing this in post. Like it goes out the way it goes out.
right.
Yeah.
But then it's also like, there's no fixing this in post. That's a whole pile of work.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm like, I don't know, going back to college, like improv, games. And I'm like, we're live, let's do this.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's pretty fun. So next kind of question I had for the group was looking ahead, like wrapping up the year as we think about next year. We tried a lot of new things this year. If folks aren't aware, like we've been streaming to Twitch for a while now, but we started to also add in streaming directly out to LinkedIn and YouTube, which is great for being able to pull together playlists like the one I shared for Terraform time. And that's just a little easier for long-term viewing. So yeah, we've been actually pushing a lot of like little boundaries and experimenting and stuff. As we look to next year, what do you think you want to try, or what are you looking forward to for the different regular shows that you're doing, or even like one-offs you want to try?
Yeah. So personally, I want to start sharing a lot more about like developer related stuff, because we are doing some cool things around like the Backstage plugin and some contributions to open source, and we have a lot of information about REST APIs that is not widely known, and so integrations, and so there's a lot from that perspective that we can definitely. I think it's really valuable content, and so I personally want to invest a bit more time on that. I also want to start experimenting with different type of content in YouTube and explore like YouTube Shorts and all that to see if it makes sense for our customers, and see if bring additional people to the streams as well.
Yeah, awesome. I definitely think there's going to be a lot of interest in everything you're working on with the Backstage plugin. I keep, every time I have a chance, I'm like asking customers when I'm meeting with them, it's like, by the way, are you using Backstage? And it's pretty often yes, like folks are definitely playing around with it. So yeah, I think that'll be a good place to dig in. Mandy, how about you? What are you looking forward to?
Oh, I don't even know, right? Like I say, we launched the channel in July, August of 2021. So what I had wanted to do at the very beginning was showcase a lot of our integrations. We have like 700 integrations. And so we started up pretty quick and then like kind of lost some momentum there. And every now and then I talk to somebody who's like, we're launching this thing, yada, yada. I'm like, does it integrate with PagerDuty? And like, yeah, it does. I'm like, well, you can come on our Twitch stream and show us how this works, right? Because like, that's going to help our customers figure out if they need your solution as well. So I'd like to do more of those. It's just a matter of like scheduling that is kind of crazy, like working with all these external folks and trying to get on all that stuff aligned. The other place that we're looking to do more enablement is with we have some stellar folks in APJ. So Honda and those guys in Japan and Thomas in Korea. And hopefully we've got a new evangelist in Tokyo and he's expressed some reluctant interest. I was like, he's like, my English isn't good enough I'm like, I don't care. Like you can do this in Japanese. Like we can have Japanese shows on the channel. It's on here all the time. Please come on. So stay tuned. We might be able to get him to do some of his stuff in Japanese on the channel as that comes on board and he gets more comfortable with the product, because that's something I would love us to try and do, to be a little bit more global with the things that we're offering as far as that stuff goes. So fingers crossed that we've enabled him. So as he gets more comfortable, we'll get him on board. So like, yeah, I push Tiago on. It's okay. It's all fun.
Yeah,
exactly.
No, I think that's a great point. And also, I mean, heck, like, I don't think he's going to run into conflicts from a timing and scheduling perspective.
Channel is always here. We're not a huge team like, say, AWS, where like they have to do like a bunch of programming and shifting things around when they want to add stuff to their schedule. We're just a handful of people, so there's plenty of opportunities for our folks to get on there.
Yeah, that'll be awesome. And I love the idea of having like different shows that we're starting to have different languages covered. That'd be rad. Tiago knows I have been doing my Duolingo for Portuguese.
That's true.
Right now, I think it would be a pretty limited conversation about like the monkey eats flies and like I like your belt. Like, so I think I'm probably gonna stick with English for now.
Yeah,
but
it's a good way to practice.
Awesome. Awesome idea. Kat, how about you? Anything you're kind of looking forward to in the coming year?
Yeah, I'm really excited. I'd love to get some more customer stories in some of the areas we don't get to highlight as much, like customer service operations. Very selfishly, I feel like I go to conferences and I talk to people and there's a lot of, oh yeah, we're using PagerDuty for CS ops in this way. And it's like, okay, then come talk to us about it. That's the missing step. So I'm just going to encourage those folks to reach out to us. Don't be surprised if you see me hounding you to come hang out with us and show us what you're doing.
Yeah. Awesome. I think that's going to be like, I love all that type of like show and tell between groups. I'm definitely going to be trying to keep up with my ambitious pace of most Mondays and guests and the periodic demo roundups. I have one of our leaders, our SC leaders internally, keeps saying like his team is available to also do. I think we had a couple folks from his team. Corbin came on and did a great kind of end-to-end demo in like the midsummer, Northern Hemisphere summer, and sort of wove a lot of like Kubernetes examples through. And then it wasn't on this channel, but we were guests on the AWS Howdy Partner with Vintran, also from that team. So he has offered up as tribute more of his team to be like, go do end-to-end demos on the Twitch channel. So we're just trying to find like what are the different angles and again, like to your point, Mandy, about scheduling, sometimes that's tricky when you try to add in different groups into the mix, but I'm looking forward to getting more of those to sort of just show off some different end-to-end ones. And there's another topic I've been digging into, which I don't know how it would work, but been hearing a lot from different customers in the retail space, whether it's like fast food or sort of, your brick and mortar retail, but just some of the interesting challenges that are kind of coming up in that industry as we sort of come back from the pandemic, right? The pandemic sort of had this hard shift for retailers of like, let's accelerate our plans to move more to e-commerce, and like timelines came in from 2 years to 2 months. But now folks are coming back, but you've got staffing challenges in these retail stores. You've got we're still supporting your curbside pickup, right? But we're also now supporting people coming in the store. So you've got fewer staff, harder to find and hire and train staff, but you now have to spread them out further. You've got orders coming in from web, mobile, third-party delivery services. And you're like this almost treating retail as this like omni-channel fulfillment. Anyways, like figuring out how do we demonstrate that, although like, from here in our remote rooms, because I feel like there's a certain aspect of that experience that's so visceral, like of just like, yes, imagine you're like in a convenience store. But anyways, figuring out like that would be something that I want to figure out how to like do a show and tell around.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. Well, any other kind of reflections on the year as we close out from 2023? We've still got a few more episodes next week. I've got Todd Whitney from our SRE team on Monday on the Unplanned Show. Tiago, you're going to have folks from the automation team on Tuesday. And then I think that's about it.
Yeah, I think so.
Before we sort of sign off for the year. But yeah, looking back, any other just like, hey, that was a great moment. We got the exciting rolling cars and everything out of the way. So it was just something we learned.
Yeah. Before I gave Tiago all of the release notes thing, we had one so Forrest and Jake are hysterical together, right? Like, and they've been working together a long time. And the joke when we first started doing those last year was that Forrest would always come wearing a hat, and Jake would always come on with a half zip, like jumper thing on, right?
Yeah.
And so one time Forrest gets on the call without a hat on, and I'm like, no, we can't, like, time out. Where's your hat? We're not going. He goes out of the room. He comes back in with a silver lame ball cap. It was amazing. It was absolutely incredible. And I'm like, this, my job is done. This is amazing. Like, it was absolutely hilarious. So like having that stuff where our staff is able to like have a bit of personality, and like we're kind of interesting folks around here, right? Like there's a lot going on. And even though our product is pretty serious for what it actually does, like there's a lot of other like human interest kind of stuff that goes into what we do and how we put the product together, which is, we'd miss that when it's all just buttoned up demos and press releases. So I'm glad we're able to put some of that stuff on here.
Yeah, a little personality.
And as I took over that specific stream, that's exactly how we start the show, because that kind of helped me because I don't have the same, I don't know Forrest for as long as Mandy does, and so that kind of helped me as I took over to kind of break the ice, right? And so now we don't start if Forrest doesn't break a different hat.
There you go.
Right, so.
Are they gonna, like, just to mess with you, have like Forrest come on with the quarter zip?
We joked about that one time too earlier in the year. Because Jake came on, it was too warm for his half zip, and I'm like, you're wearing a hat? Like, what are we gonna do here? Like, we would switch it up?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Do something.
Yeah, that's great. And I mean, I just also really love that he had a silver lame baseball hat.
Yeah. Handy. Yeah, to hand. To like new, yeah, absolutely. I just okay, buddy.
Yeah. Maybe that's what, maybe like adding just, hey, we've got some wardrobe requirements.
Yeah, we could, I was gonna say I have a tiara here somewhere. Oh yeah, here we go.
Here it comes, folks.
Yeah, it doesn't really go with the the headset, but like Julie, our former colleague, used to work at an MSP called Taos, and she brought these to Velocity conference in 2013, I think maybe, and they were a hit, and I still have mine. And yeah, so occasionally, if you need wardrobe change, that kind of thing, there you can totally go for it.
I'm looking around my desk and thinking like I usually have like a beanie handy, but I'm like, I definitely need to up my quick put on something with sparkles.
We are doing the swag wrong because we don't have that to hand, I think is the detail there. So
noted. Yeah. Noted.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, I had one more question. So Twitch obviously is really popular with gamers. I'm not like a big gamer. I do like the occasional like computer game. And I did have a thought of like on my own Twitch, just like what if I actually tried this whole like played a game and live streamed it. So I wanted to see like what would that game be for each of you if you were just like, sure, I'll try this whole like why Twitch was invented in the first place. Mine is this little game called Mini Motorways that my husband found on like Apple Arcade. It's like I guess you could call it world building. You like little like workplaces and houses pop up, and you have to make little roads, and sometimes you have to make tunnels and bridges, and then you have to add in roundabouts and whatever, and then you can get freeways and whatever. It gets real complicated, and your goal is to try to get as many rides completed. And it has the most delightful little like bing boop like kind of sounds when like a new building pops up, and just I don't know what it is. It's so soothing.
Oh, it's Dinosaur Polo Club. They're awesome. Yes. They do Mini Metro, which is also an amazing game.
Yes, that's another, like I've played that one, but for some reason we started with the Motorways one, and so that's just like what I go to. But I guess like that's probably if I were to be on here being like, here's how I optimize my use of roundabouts in like whatever building out Los Angeles or whatever city I'm in that day. So yeah. What game is your go-to game?
Well, I haven't played a game in many years. I used to get very like I used to get addicted to playing games, and so when I was in college I wouldn't actually sleep that much because I was playing. And so the last game that I played for real was World of Warcraft, and yeah. I don't know a lot of games since since that. Yeah.
But that's a classic. So I mean,
definitely.
Yeah, that's still going strong. Kat, how about you?
So I grew up in a no video games household, and so I've started playing some games in my adult life, but the catch is that I'm really bad at all of them because I have absolutely no practice or experience. But I feel like for the ones that I'm good at and that I don't get frustrated 10 minutes in, it would be either Animal Crossing, or it would be the New York Times Daily Crossword, which I don't know if it counts, but you're either going to watch me being really cozy or flipping through a dictionary trying to figure out the next clue.
I'm kind of loving the idea of like a crossword
crossword stream. I do it every day, so
Yeah, I mean, I remember like my mom and her sister would just sit on the phone and like do the crossword together. So I definitely think there's an element of it's a social activity.
The mini, and they have Wordle. Like you can kind of just go on and on.
Yeah. Mandy, how about you?
Okay. When we launched this channel, the other thing that I was playing a lot of was Beat Saber on the Quest, right? And so I looked at what equipment and nonsense I would need to be able to broadcast Beat Saber to my channel, and it ended up being too much hassle and showed people too much of the mess that is the rest of my house. So because you need like other cameras and other setup, and like it works best if you've got a green screen, and I can only play in my living room. It's the only place I have space. So I'm like, okay, we're not going down that track to play Lady Gaga tracks on Beat Saber, even though I'm really good at it. So that's a pass for that one. But
hold on. What is Beat Saber?
Oh my god, Beat Saber is amazing. So Beat Saber is like in the same genre as like Garage Band, the Guitar Hero. That was one. And speaking of that, like I could not buy myself Guitar Hero when I was still in grad school. I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy this when I'm done with grad school because like I will never get my projects done. So like in that space where you've got like a music game, but it's with lightsabers. Basically, so your quest, right? You've got your mask and you've got the two handles, and then you've got basically swords that you're playing with, and you're like bashing blocks out of the air to the songs that you pick. And it's been out a few years, and so there's expansion packs that are actually music you would recognize versus the original music on it was kind of developed for the game, and it's some of it's a little weird. And so I was playing a lot of that during the pandemic because I couldn't go to the gym or anything like that. The gym was closed, whatever. So I bought a Quest. So yeah, looked into that. I still play it, but it's a huge hassle to try and broadcast it. And like, then there's like rights things with the music that's on it. So I'm like, I don't need any DMC, whatever, takedown notifications in my life. So yeah, otherwise the games I play on my PlayStation are mostly like Lego Star Wars games. So love those, bashing things and collecting coins and all that good stuff. And on my phone, I play card games. I don't know that anybody wants to watch me play solitaire while I'm listening to podcasts, just endlessly on a rainy Saturday afternoon. So yeah,
I mean, but that's the fun, is like you never know who out there's like, yeah, this is my jam,
right?
I want to watch Kat crack this crossword puzzle and occasionally chime in with, hey, did you look at 11 down? Because
yeah, you could get hints. Yeah, definitely.
Pretty sure like it's staring me in the face,
Yeah.
And I'd never heard of Beat Saber, and now I get Saber. Like, yes,
yeah.
Okay. That seems like an amazing intersection of like so many different like music, Star Wars, and physical. Like the
only reason I bought a Quest. I have no other reason to have one other than that game. Like, just
Awesome. Well, I mean, if nothing else, folks maybe have taken away some different game ideas of things to try as we enter into for the Northern Hemisphere, a cold and dark and cozy time. So just curl up and play a game or two. And thank you all. Thanks to it was, let's see, 64 new followers here on Twitch. Also reaching folks, of course, on LinkedIn and YouTube these days. So huge thank you to everyone who's tuned in and either live or caught replays. We hope that our streams have been useful and maybe a little entertaining. Watch out for LeMay baseball hats from Forrest and potentially other sparkly things in the coming year. It sounds like that's definitely a direction things could go. And thank you to all the hosts, including Jose, who's not with us today.
Definitely.
And Scott McAllister, shout out, who was with us at the beginning of the year. And we'll hopefully have some new hosts joining us in the new year, whether from Japan or other new advocates joining the team. So that'll be me signing off. Thank you all.